Welcome to Footle News, the only place where the news is more absurd than reality, but just a little.
New technologies that will surprise you, science that makes life more chaotic but more fun, and politicians who never fail to deliver unexpected decisions.
In today's edition, the launch of the world's first waiting simulator. It replicates queues in government offices, supermarkets, and festival toilets, so people can train for real life.
24 hours have passed. The war continues. Analysts suspect that Trump measures time in presidential minutes, which last as long as necessary.
People have started consciously rejecting unnecessary purchases, except in cases where they go, "Oh, but it's so cool."
Scooters with GPS navigation have appeared on the roads. Now they don't just block the sidewalks, they do it strategically.
Britain has introduced the Mandatory Sarcasm Act. The new rules require that every official statement must include at least one sarcastic remark.
For example, government officials must now end their speeches with phrases like, "Of course, we only work for your benefit."
Meanwhile, members of parliament have been instructed to enhance their statements with comments such as, "Budget funds exclusively for development, with an unlimited belief in the future."
The courts have not been left out either. There is now a proposal for sarcastic justice, which involves issuing verdicts in the style of, "Oh yes, you are absolutely innocent."
The U.S. Congress has officially legalized voter indifference. A new bill states that citizens can vote, but their choice will not affect the final result.
The authors of this initiative assure, the main thing is the process, not the outcome. According to their logic, if voters feel involved in the democratic mechanism, it no longer matters that the mechanism spins in place.
Officials claim this will reduce citizens' stress during elections, since they can now vote without any expectations or disappointments.
Sociologists have already called this initiative revolutionary. Now voters don't so much influence the system as participate in a theater of democracy with a guaranteed ending.
A new trend in the collector's world. Factories have begun releasing collectible smog in cans. Each batch has its own unique industrial aroma.
Environmental activists are outraged. They say selling smog is like canning ecological problems. Meanwhile, collectors insist true smog should be tasted.
Some editions have already sold for insane amounts. Particularly valuable is smog from 1980s industrial zones, said to be infused with the soul of heavy industry.
Analysts predict, if this trend gains popularity, we'll see smog tastings, top-rated releases, and, of course, a black market for counterfeit smog.
The Vatican has just unveiled HolyPass, the world's first sin management app. Users can subscribe to automated forgiveness without the hassle of traditional confession.
The basic plan covers minor sins like skipping Sunday Mass, stealing office pens, or texting "on my way" while still at home.
But for those who sin professionally, the premium plan offers monthly auto-absolution, confession-free and optimized for busy schedules.
And for true VIP sinners, there's HolyPass Ultimate, which includes priority absolution, an annual Oopsie Pass, and even an exclusive chat with a Vatican AI chatbot, Saint GPT TM.
According to early user reviews, the app's interface is heavenly smooth, but some complain that the Divine Pardon button has a 3-business-day processing time.
The Vatican assures users that all transactions are secure and spiritually encrypted, though critics argue this turns salvation into a microtransaction system. Meanwhile, church officials have hinted that group plans and family forgiveness bundles are coming soon.
So far, HolyPass accepts credit cards, PayPal, and select cryptocurrencies, but negotiations with Apple Pay and direct indulgence NFTs are still ongoing.
Stay tuned as we investigate whether the afterlife now has an in-app purchase system.
We're connecting with our correspondent, who is at the Global Logic Laboratory. Chuck, what's happening there? And does any of it even make sense?
Hi, Jack and Mia. Last time, scientists confirmed that 100% of people blink, although some suspect this is just a conspiracy by eyelids to hide the truth. Today, the atmosphere here is tense. Scientists have just confirmed that 100% of people live on Earth.
Chuck, this sounds like a grant-winning study of the year. What other groundbreaking discoveries have they made?
Mia, the situation here is, to put it mildly, not great. Scientists confirmed that 100% of people indeed live on Earth, but it turned out that 12% of respondents claim they aren't humans at all, but rather advanced algorithms. Meanwhile, 4% insist their home technically isn't on Earth because they live in the metaverse where rent is cheaper.
Chuck, is there any chance these studies will have practical applications, or is this just another research grant spent on a fact of the century?
Well, Jack, the official statement is, these findings fundamentally change our perception of reality, assuming anyone actually cares. Meanwhile, the lab has already applied for a new grant to determine whether all fish in the ocean are in fact wet.
Fantastic, Chuck. Thanks for this absolutely pointless yet incredibly revealing rapport. And now we move on to our next segment.
This week's life hack: how to peel a potato without a knife. Because honestly, who needs knives when you have a washing machine?
It's simple. Just throw your potatoes into the washing machine, set it to the toughest washing cycle, sit back, and let technology do the work.
After 40 minutes, you'll get perfectly peeled potatoes and possibly a deep realization that your life has taken a strange turn.
This method requires patience, a complete disregard for common sense, and a willingness to waste electricity for an experiment that could have taken 2 minutes by hand.
Just don't add detergent, or your potatoes might end up with refreshing citrus notes. Probably not the flavor you were going for.
Thanks for watching. Next week, we'll teach you how to roast a chicken in a dishwasher while maintaining your family's respect.
And now, for sports, the first semifinal in the Random Caps Lock Championship is over. After a tense battle, the victory went to Michael "I'm Not Loud, Just Expressive" Brown. He lasted 17 minutes before realizing his email looked like an aggressive manifesto.
That's true stamina, Jack. His opponent, Carlos "It's Just a Font" Mendez, managed to type 2 full pages of a corporate report in caps lock before being stopped by a printer, which assumed it was an urgent emergency memo.
All eyes are now on next week's semifinal, where Samantha "I Just Type Fast" Davis will face Oliver "Why Won't It Turn Off Black?"
If Samantha wins, we'll see a true clash of styles. Her ability to ignore caps lock versus Michael Brown's methodical chaos.
But if Oliver wins, we're in for an epic showdown, because he and Brown have been arguing for 5 years about who accidentally presses extra keys more often.
So stay tuned for the final. In the meantime, sports fans can watch highlights from last year, where the legendary Jason "Why Aren't the Numbers Typing Foster" lost his title due to an unexpected shift key press.
Well, on that note, we wrap up today's edition of Footle News. If you missed anything important, don't worry. History has seen people live without news at all, and they seemed happier.
Remember, reality is even more absurd than our jokes, but we're doing our best to catch up. Next time, we'll explore how to win an argument with a GPS navigator.
And we'll also investigate whether a vending machine will give you something different if you just stare at it long enough.
Thank you for joining us. This has been Footle News, the news you weren't looking for, but got anyway. See you next time.